It is 9 o'clock on the dot. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Super Power Hours. From online league racing at dirt tracks or asphalt, we got you covered. I'm your host, as always, every single week. I'm here for it. Hi, my name's Joshua Temple. We're here to have a great time. Everybody, I am glad you are all here. Welcome back for episode 14. We got a lot of stuff to cover. As everyone knows, if you watched the last episode or two, we're not covering just Next Gen Racing League. We have a couple different leagues coming into effect. I'm bringing back the D2D name under a revamped series for your Narca series. Will it grow from there? We'll see. But without further ado, I have a couple people to bring in here and introduce. That is a blurry fucking picture. Let's not do that. Enjoy not seeing any of this. Yep, I'm just gonna exit out that. Oh, look at that, we're back. All right, perfect. Let's click on this. Let's go back here. Boom, boom, perfect. There we go. As you can see, I'm joined by Mr. Nep Dog, Jason Nepper. Mr. Nep, welcome back, buddy.
Well, thank you, Josh. Glad to be back as always.
Nep, we love having you back every single week. You are full of information. You have a lot to talk about, and we love to hear it.
Well, um, jobs of a broadcaster.
Exactly.
No, I enjoy the podcast, and I've always, like I've said before, I've always enjoyed racing my entire life, and to be able to do this type of aspect, with the podcast and all, um, I have a blast. Like on Wednesdays, um, whether I'm doing it at work, don't tell my boss, or whenever I get home, going back and rewatching the races and looking through all the stats and all that. Some would call it work. I call it fun. Um, it's racing, um, but without the physicality. You know,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely brings a whole new aspect to what we've been used to. I mean, of course, you watch any type of racing, there's always a broadcaster. They're always talking about what's going on track, so on and so forth. It's cool to be in that position to be able to do that. Everyone saw, if you follow what happened last night, me and Mike broadcasted. As you can see, Mike's here too. Big Mike, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we love having you, man. But you and me, we sat down, we broadcasted last night's race at Charlotte Roval, and we had another great one. I mean, it sucked that there was problems with streams. I don't understand why, but I did get one of those reports that my stream was flagged for something. So I'm curious if something was going on with somebody's stream, and it really ruined it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
well, actually, from a couple of the guys that was in the race, they didn't notice until after the race that when we had to restack the field because um, people was lagging out, like it happens from time to time when we're loading into a race. So we had to re-rack the field so they would stop their stream, and then when they went to start it back up, for some reason it didn't start back up. And of course that naturally you're in race mode, so you're not thinking it. Check all that. So the whole race they're sitting there thinking that they're broadcasting until we got to the end of the race and realized, shit, we're not broadcasting.
Hmm. Well, all right. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, me and Mike were watching it pop up. It would pop up that there was something going on with each stream we were in. It even like halfway into the race because I had to restart my stream because my stream got fucking closed down. So I don't know. That was a mess, but we made do what we could, and we had that really cool first stage. That was awesome to see the
Yeah,
battling
it
and
was, that was great.
and smell driving by JPR in the last corner because JPR almost lost it. Yeah, we had a great time. So, without further ado, I would love to sit here and just keep chatting it up. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We are going to be jumping right over to the Next Gen Racing League first. Um, there's a couple things we're going to talk about beforehand, and I'm going to give this back over to Nep because this was Nep's idea to look into. He's got stats for these guys. He's got some stuff to talk about with them. Without further ado, Mr. Nepdog, take it away.
Thank you, Josh. What I wanted to start doing, and I was talking with some of the guys last night after the race and all, and one thing about the podcast, now, food for thought, and that's one thing Josh does when he's talking to people, and Mike, I'm sure you're going to start doing it too if you don't already. But to make something better, you listen to, the people, kind of give them what they want type deal. And take notes, and then you apply that to what you're doing. And we cover race results and race winners and stuff like that. But there's more than just those front running guys in the league. There's the mid pack guys that realistically you need those guys. They're what gives you that field count. And that's what I want to do. I want to start spotlighting some of they're still good drivers, but they might not be that every week contending for, the win or things like that. Just bring some glory to the mid pack guy. Me myself, I list myself as a mid pack guy. So I think it'd be cool to kind of throw a little congratulations to those guys that showing up every week. I did it with the Cup Series and Next Gen all season long. There are 8 Ironmen, guys who have ran in every single race, haven't used the start and park or anything like that. But and that's important for a league. But the 2 guys I wanted to look at this week, one's from the Xfinity Series and one is from the Cup Series. I'm going to start with for Xfinity, Mr. James Damron. I hope I said that right. AKA James Has Speed 63. James has been an online racer with us for, I think date back to D2D. I want to say like season 3 or season 4.
D2D season 4, he popped in here. Yep.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. He tries to run every single week. Some days he has good days, and some days gets tied up in things. But looking at his stats over in Xfinity, unfortunately, because he missed the first couple of races, which really hurt him in points, so he failed to make the playoffs. I'm sure had he been here for those first 2 races, he would have had the points to make it into the playoffs. But he has 1 top 5, a total of 10 top 5s, or 5 top 10. Sorry. He's got he's got an average start of 7.6 and an average finish of 9.0. His best start of the season came in the Xfinity race at Watkins Glen, where he started 5th. And his best finish for the season came at Nashville, where he finished 5th place. He's a good guy. He's going to run you clean if you're ever running around him. He does everything he can to enjoy racing. I think he's one of the oldest of the league, age wise, and he'll get in there and run with the 20 and 30-year-olds like it's nothing, So, thank you, James, for everything that you do in the league. And we look forward to seeing what the rest of the season you're able to accomplish and moving forward into season 2 with Next Gen. The next guy that I want to talk about, he is in the Cup Series. He drives the 48 car, Mr. Brandon McKinney, aka Ford 3467. Ford's another one of them that, let me give you the stats. Average start, 9.2. Average finish 12.3. He's always just right there at breaking into the top 5 or nabbing the top 10. He's got 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s. And due to 2 nights ago on Monday night, he was awarded the pole after Josh failed to show up for the race. So he was awarded the pole. So he does have a pole for the season. When I was doing my research, one thing I saw about him, and I was shocked compared to the average start of a 9.2, because he has multiple second place starts. So when it comes to his qualifying, he's either hit or miss. And when he hits it, he's right up there at the front. When he misses the line or whatever the case, he's right there at the back side of the top 10 starting grid. I've had many a good races side by side. I can't remember which track it was, but me and him, we battled for probably about 3 to 4 laps side by side and never got into each other. We ran each other clean. I know he has the potential to pick up a win, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks a win in before the season's up. His best start, like I said, was at Talladega, but he does have, with Josh not showing up, but he does have multiple second place starts. And he has his best finish is a 5th place at the Glen in the Cup Series. So hats off to you, Ford. Thank you for being part of the league, and we look forward to seeing where things take you.
Well said, Nep. Very well said. Yeah, 2 guys. Well, we don't talk about every single week, but they show up and they try to show out when they can, and that's a great thing for them. But let's get on rolling here. Let's get into Sunday's action in the Xfinity Series at Iowa. Great track with a bunch of hungry drivers to kick off the playoffs. As you can see, I was able to snag a pole for that race, which was great. My 4th pole of the season. That's always a fun thing to do. Don't get them often, but when I do, it's fun. But Mr. Nepp, I know you have some notes from that race. If you want to take it away.
Well, thank you, Josh. Like you said, y'all are at Iowa, first race of the playoffs. Josh, you went out there and set the pace, collecting the pole for the race with a 24.409. When the racing got going, and when I was watching your stream and all that, there, everybody talks about how Josh is the measuring stick, the one to beat, and it's hard to get a win over there because Josh is over in the Xfinity. But you had some competition, buddy. Beer Stick would go out there and capture both stages.
And in that stage 1 with the base setup, not putting any adjustment in the car, I did not have a top 2 car. I think I was fitting right where I think I finished was 4th in stage 1. You had Mountain Dew Man that seemed like he had a 2nd place car. You had Heavy D, which was starting to struggle with his car at the end of the run. He was in 3rd. I mean, it was not easy. It was not easy, but like you said, Beer Stick drove away in stage 1. Stage 2, he drove away even more. Stage 3 was interesting. If you would love to break that down.
Yeah, stage 3, went out there. It looked like, Beer Stick was going to sweep the race, and it came down. I want to say it came down to almost 5 laps to go, and I think there was a fuel issue or whatever. But you were able to capture. You were able to pull ahead and take the win. Beer would finish 2nd. Heavy D finished 3rd. Jay Clay would finish 4th, and Mountain Dew bouncing back off of a mishap on the track. Somebody had slid up into him, which is, it's kind of a racing thing, especially at Iowa. It's it's real easy to wash up the track. But he was able to come back in, finish in the top with a top 5 finish. So, but Beer would go out there and get the fastest lap of the night with a 23.949.
Yeah, and I mean to touch more on that final stage. I finally found something that worked, and I was able to stay with Beer Stick for most of the run. The last like 5 or 6 laps, that's when he would just leave me, and we finally worked something out together. I was able to stay with him, and I started saving fuel earlier than him. The first green flag pit stop in that third stage, I stayed out an extra lap than he did, and that was pretty much it. That is what won me the race. I mean, we were coming to the white flag, and I just got to his left rear quarter, and he sputtered coming out of four. So so it was gonna be a very crazy race. I have no clue who was gonna win it. I finally had a car that felt good at the end of that race. So that was a nice thing to see. But yeah, it was not easy. Did not come easy. Nothing was easy with that race. It was a gritty race. It was a blast. I love working hard behind the wheel. It was a great time. Um, Enough about me. That was my 7th win of the season. Pretty cool. We're putting up some low numbers as everyone will see. But yeah, Mike, if you can read us off the rest of that finishing order.
After the top 5, Hamrick pulled in 6. He started 9th, picked up 3 positions. Bullet Bob would come in 7th, started 3rd, dropped 4 positions. James has speed with the 8th finish. He started 7th, only fell 1 spot. And then your 9th place car would be Lakile Bryant. Started 6th, fell 3 spots to 9th. And your finishing running order would be Memphis in 10th. Started 11th and finished 10th. So he picked up a position from the start.
Yeah, Rowdy was the one that didn't finish the race. That's why he's not on there.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I was like, wait a second. My math ain't mathing right. That makes sense then.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, let me just make sure I slip this one in. Um, but yeah, I mean, as you can see, like Nep said, Beer Stick went out and won both stages. You had the fastest lap. The only thing that man did not have was the pole, and he probably would have won the race if it didn't come down to fuel strategy. Um, I know there was stuff that was mentioned earlier in the race on how. Well, actually, no, it wasn't mentioned earlier in the race. It was mentioned after the race about people not being happy with fuel mileage. It's not racing. Well, I hate to break it to you, but it is. And it's the new style of racing. If you were driving behind people saving fuel and you weren't catching them and they were still pulling away from you, then they were still out dueling you. And that's why I just want to mention this as a visual why we're here on this spot. So, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's the part of racing, and I guess just get better at it. I don't know what else to say there.
my thing about racing is, um, yeah, in World of Outlaws, there is no pitting or anything like that. You just go out there, you run the damn race. NASCAR is about strategy. Dirt track racing is checkers, where NASCAR is chess. And yeah, you can run 1 time tire wear or 2 times tire wear and don't have to worry about pitting or saving gas and all. But I want you to watch an actual NASCAR race. And all they're doing is doing math in their head. Okay, if we put this much fuel in, we can make it to the end. NASCAR is about strategy. It's about when to put 2 tires on versus 4 tires. When to go with a half a round of wedge, or take out some wedge. So those that gets upset about fuel racing, realistically, that's part of NASCAR. I can't tell you how many NASCAR races I've watched where the fast car, you hear them talking to their crew chief, and they're like, save fuel, because we're 2 laps short. You know, it's about, you know, strategizing and, you know, fuel saving, because you never know. You know, if a last second caution comes out, not everybody's going to pit. So now it's like, if you've got enough tires and enough fuel, stay out there. You might go from 7th to 1st after other people pit, hold them off while they're trying to get those new tires or whatever warmed up, and somehow manage to pull out the win. So that's just my opinion.
Amen to that, Nip. Amen to that. But let's take a look at the points real quick. Um, as you can see, they're very interesting to look at. I got a nice lead. I'm sitting pretty comfy. As long as I show up, I'll make the championship 4. But comes down to Heavy D. He's hanging on by what currently over the cutoff line. He's got 24 points. Oh, no, 34 points. My math wasn't mathing. Then you got Beer Stick ahead by 20, and you got Mountain Dew ahead by 13. Lakille, J. Clay, Hamrick, Bob, they're all still there. They're all still in the area where they can get in. They can get the last spot. Um, Beer Stick, I think, is the one that we're really going to see excel in this playoff stint. I think you're going to see that man come out swinging, which he showed at Iowa. Oh, excuse me. I need Dubby right now. That's what I need. Um, but yeah, all in all, I'm what you see right now in the championship 4 is probably might most likely not be what will be there. We have a couple more tracks coming up, two other tracks in this round, and then we make into the championship 4 for those tracks. So it should be interesting. Just seeing how everything's playing out early. It's 13 points is not a lot. You can screw something up, finish the last in the stage, and someone can finish 4th or 5th each stage, and boom, they gain 10 points on you right there. So
Fall asleep 10 minutes before race time and miss the complete race.
we're getting there, Nep. We're not there yet. But yeah, I can't wait to see what else we got for the rest of this round of 8. But let's move on. Now we go to Monday's Cup race. Even though I don't have it on a stat sheet, which I think is bullshit, I grabbed the pole at Talladega. It was cool, man. I was fucking going fast to turn left. It was a great fucking pole. I think it was the first one I've ever gotten in the Cup side, so that was cool. But like Neb said, I fell asleep 10 minutes before race time. Didn't make the race. Woke up 45 minutes after it started. Went right back to sleep. It was just not worth my time. But
Well, I think part of that is a lot of people, the way they look at Talladega is it's a it's just pack racing. It's a boring racing. I hear it every time we run a super speedway. So a lot of people don't want to get on to 30 minutes before the race and run practice and all that, because they're like, well, what's the sense of practicing just to run in a pack? So they show up right there at the end. So you're more likely to get sidetracked. Oh well, I'll show up or get lined up and ready. You sit down after a long days of work, and you just ate, got your belly full. You sit down for a minute and you close your eyes, and the next thing you know, you're waking up and you're like, oh well, I guess I ain't running tonight. So it happens to the best of us.
yeah, I need to sleep. It was nice to have. But yeah, so that's what happened. I think Ford ended up starting to race it first or some shit. So from
Yeah,
here on out, Nep's got you with all the coverage.
man, Talladega never lets. All in all, it was a great race. We had a blast. Um, Of course, you got the pack racing. It's anybody's opportunity to step out there. The ones that aren't competing every week for a win, it gives them that it's almost like an equal playing field. With let's just call it what it is. Samo, JPR, Reb, those are some of the top-notch talents in this league. And every week they're going to be running at the front of the pack. They're going to be battling out for the win. Guys like myself, Wolfie, Rowdy, Ford, guys like us that we show up every week, we bust our ass, but we're just not quite to that level that they are on. And we go out there, and it gives us that one race where we can run with a Samo side by side, and we can run with a JPR. And it gives you that chance that, hey, I might be able to pick up a win. Fuel strategy didn't come into play in the first two stages. You were able to run from flag to flag. I don't believe there was any cautions in the first two stages, but there was a caution in the second stage. But, the first stage, here's a name that's not mentioned much. Sharton would go out there and capture the stage win. Congratulations to him. Stage 2 was, battle, but Trigun would be able to squeak out the stage win, leading us into the final stage. And then the longest stage of all three of the stages required 2 pit stops and strategy. You wanted to make sure that you were lifting properly, and some guys' techniques were, using the clutch to help them go around the turns and all that, to try to save fuel. You couldn't just go out there, even though it's a super speedway and all you hear, well, you just put your foot on the gas and just go. You can do that, but when it comes to fuel, you're not going to make it. It bit me. I had that happen. One of the pit stops, a lot of people were either going with no tires or 2 tires, and I decided for a bonehead move to go with 4 and lost the pack. So then I'm having to run around with my foot in the freaking in the floorboard, burning up more fuel. And I finally was, whatever the case may be, we were able to, I linked up with some people. We was able to catch up with the pack. I got shuffled up, but when I did, the draft just sucked me to the front of the pack. But by that point, I'd already burnt up so much gas trying to catch that pack and all that I got the lead, and I had the lead for like a couple of laps, and then I had to pit where everybody else still had 3, 4, 5 laps of fuel left, which then, screwed me in the end. So that was on me. I didn't strategize like I should have. But hard battle, last lap, there was, typical super speedway pack racing. One guy got, just barely got below the yellow line, went to come back up. Car reacted to it. He came up, got into somebody else, and, it's typical pack racing. No reason, nobody's really too upset about it. I think everybody laughed about, because unfortunately JPR did get the short end of the stick, and his comment in the race was,
again? Damn it!
What? Again? Damn it! But Samo was able to pick up the win, followed by Reb in second. Trickle would finish third. Bames would finish fourth. And Rowdy would finish fifth, with Bames collecting the fastest lap of the night with a 48.708.
Yeah, Samo stayed out the BS in that tri-oval. He went to the top, and that was the smartest move he could have ever did, because everything unfolded under him.
And that's pack racing. All it takes is one little bobble, and the big one happens. And a lot of times it's on that last lap. You can run a 200 lap race at Daytona or Talladega, and you can run nose to tail for 199 laps. But if you don't try to make your move on that last lap, then what would you show up for those other laps? There's an old saying, I'll run, you know, I'll work with anybody every lap of the race except for that last one, and then the last lap it's go time. And I think that's kind of what happened. And did it lead to a mishap? Yeah, but that's part of racing, guys. All in all, it was a great race. I had a blast. But then that would take us into last night and the Charlotte Roval.
You are going way too fast there, sir. Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Sorry.
So as we see, Simone won his 8th race of the season, which is fucking nuts. But anywho, Mike, read through the rest of that lineup of that finishing order.
Coming in 6th after Rowdy was Speedy. 7th, JPR would finish after his mishaps. Trigun would pull in 8th. Charlton would finish 9th. Rowdy Rooster would come in 10th. Nep finished 11th. NASCAR came in 12th. Ford finished 13th. MB finished 14th. And Wolfie rounded out the field with 15th.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Let me tell you about that 10th place finish, okay? Me and Rooster are teammates, for the slowly disbanding PPR racing. He's running. I'm right on his ass, and every time I go to make a move, he blocks me. And after the race, he said, "Sorry, Nep, I wasn't giving you that spot." I was like, "I understand." We were battling it out, teammates or not, and that let's go back to that whole last thing that that I was saying. We could be teammates 199 laps, but that last lap, the teammate goes out the window, and it's every man for himself. So, but it was still fun. But yeah, he threw a wicked block on me to keep me from being able to make that charge to the line to get that 10th place finish. So.
Yeah, it's Rooster too, by the way. That's the only issue. It's fucking Rooster.
The thing is, though, I wouldn't expect Rooster to race me any other way, to be honest. I mean, like you said, it's Rooster. So no hard feelings. It was a blast.
Exactly. But as we move on to last night, me and Mike broadcasted it on my channel here. Went to Charlotte Roval, and as you can see, JPR grabs a staggering 8th pole of the season. I think it's hilarious. Samo just won his 8th race of the season. JPR goes out and gets 8th pole of the season. It's like they flip flop poles and wins. It's fucking hilarious. But in other news, yeah.
Well, like what Samo says, he's not worried about poles.
Mm-hmm.
Poles just gets you the start of the race up front. What the most important thing is where you actually finish in the race. So he doesn't care if he gets a pole or not. He's going out there. If he starts 2nd, 4th, or 16th, he's going to be up at the front when it comes to the end. So,
and he's proved it over and over again that man can start dead last to come through the field and win the race. So that does not matter to him at all. But Nep, again, I know you got some bullet points from this race. Take it away.
It was the Roval. Making sure to hit the chicanes right, making sure to hit your braking points right. The freaking rumble strips would just send your car with a mind of its own. We'd go out there, like you said, JPR would capture the pole with a 1 minute 25 seconds and 0.958. And I'll just say this: he actually had the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 25 seconds .316. So he actually bettered his qualifying time. Some of that might have been adjustments. Who knows? But we get out there, and typical road course style into stage one, Samoa would capture the stage win.
On a very close finish, may I add.
Oh yeah, very close. Y'all had a better view than I did because I was back.
I'll have Mike take
sucking
this
iron
one
tit,
away.
but
Mike, tell me about those last 4 corners of that stage.
That was one of the most exciting finishes to a stage I've ever seen. It seemed like JP could beat Samoa out of the corner, but he could not. Samoa would just eat him up going into the corners. And I think JP got a little loose on that last corner coming out of it, and that opened the door for Samoa, and he took it. It wasn't by much. When I tell you it wasn't even a ruler length by what he got him by. But it was the most exciting finish of the whole race, in my opinion.
Definitely was. I mean, insane. JP was sideways as fuck in that last corner. Samoa said he was just going to try to push it a little hard to see if he would mess up, and he did. He missed the one mark, and we saw that a lot from JP, actually, where he was driving up and over the fucking rumble strips and really screwing up an entry to a corner, but still being fast enough to get out of it and extend the lead.
Yeah, he was very, very good all night on his corner exits.
Yeah, it was definitely nutty. But all right, now stage 2, go ahead.
Stage 2, same rules apply. We were able to run. If you were able to save your fuel and tires right, you were able to run stage 2 without pitting. So it was another hard battle up front, and Trigun was able to nose out and get the stage 2 win. Like I said, I was proud of myself because, like I've always said, I'm not a road course person. I hate road courses, but I'm gonna race them. And I was proud of myself because usually at road courses, within a couple of laps into the race, I'm already being lapped. And I was able to go the first 2 stages without going a lap down. So, to me, that's a win in my book. Third stage was not so generous to me, so to speak. I started making a lot more penalty. And I think that sort of happened to a lot of people. I noticed is because we're in the last stage, people were over, braking too late to get into the chicanes and getting course penalties. And the course penalties were just crazy. At one point, I got a course penalty. Wolfie was behind me. And my passenger front tire was barely over the line, and he gave me a course penalty coming out of that last chicane coming to the line. Well, then naturally the game slows you down. So by the time it slowed me down, I'm almost to the other side of the chicane. So when it finally let me go back to racing, I moved a hair up, and it hit me with another stage penalty, or course penalty. So F you, Charlotte Roval. It literally made me not want to go to the Christmas lights and drive on the track because of the damn Roval. But maybe one of these days, we never know. I might have to take the Josh Temple driving school or something. But
I'm here for it, man.
Out there. We go out there, having to make pit stops, managing tire wear, managing fuel. JPR would be able to pick up his second win at a road course. I think JPR needs to thank y'all because it seems like every time y'all broadcast a race, he wins it. So I think y'all's is, lucky rabbit's foot, so to speak. Trigun would come out there with a finish second, Speedy would finish third, Samo would finish fourth, and Trickle would finish in fifth place.
And before Mike reads the rest of that off, I just want to say this. Samo, if he didn't have the issue he did, and get hit with that penalty, me and Mike were trying to crunch the numbers. Samo would have been on JPR's ass. Trigun fucking made up a lot of time, and JP was able to grab another gear and get away from him. Um, that was the what's gonna happen, what's going on. Like Christ, I think Samo fell back to 19 seconds behind and finished 12 seconds behind. And when he came out of the pits, he was about 6-7 seconds behind. So he would have ate all that up. It would have been a race for the century coming to the end. We would have had probably another what happened in stage one. But yeah, I mean JPR, me and Mike are your fucking good luck charms. I'm just saying. If you need us to broadcast more, let a man know. We'll go ahead and we'll get it done for you. But yeah, I couldn't get over it. The guy was able to stay sharp. Even when he was getting a lot of pressure and he was watching the time click down, he was still, just hanging in there, hitting his marks and making sure he stayed out front. Um, Mikey, read off the rest of that finishing order.
Coming in the sixth, behind Trickle was Rebneck. Seventh was Bames. Rowdy coming in with an eighth. Ford with a ninth. And 10th place we had MB. And behind him in 11th was Wolfie Man. Charton with a 12th. Nep Dog, you got a 13th. NASCAR finished 14th. And Rowdy Rooster come in 15th, round out the field.
Yeah, I'm just looking over, and I know in the beginning of the show we talked about who we thought our biggest movers and our people that were going to have the worst finishing um, result.
Yeah.
We kind of missed big time. I mean, Bames was on my list to be a spoiler. He gained 6 positions, so kudos to him. For the biggest heartbreak there, I mean, you had Wolfie at 2, Sharton at 2, Nep you were at 2, NASCAR were at 2. Positions lost from start of the race. So there wasn't much movement. I mean, where you qualified was pretty much where you were going to run that whole race, and it showed.
Okay. I qualified with like a. I I think they had to use a sundial to get my
Oh my God.
qualifying time. But I qualified like 1 minute and 40 something second, high 40s. But I actually was able to run. I was able to find some type of speed, and my best lap was 1 minute 31. So you know, yeah, it's not the 125 like JPR, but for me that was an accomplishment for me to be able to pick up not just 2 tenths or here and there, but to pick up almost 15 seconds was big for me, and I was able to run that pure throughout the entire race. So um like I said, I just started getting course penalties and it just killed me.
That's the problem too, is those course penalties because you get hit with them. Yeah, they slow the car down they stop it for 5 seconds, but you gotta account for the momentum you're losing from them slowing you down, and now the momentum you're still losing from trying to get back up to speed. It's a total like 15 seconds fully losing on track each time it happens.
Yeah, and it never felt I'd be having a good run
Hmm.
and coming to that last chicane, and that's where I'd end up hitting the penalty at. So it's like I might have been able to break into the 120s, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't happen.
Yeah, but hey, Nap, there's always next week. We remember that. But
Oh yeah.
as we get done here, let's look at the points. 2 weeks left before the playoffs start here in the Next Gen Cup Series. As you can see, Samo is just saying see you later to the field. JPR, he's sitting in second. Then you have Reb. Speedy, Trickle, Bames, Trigun, MB, Wolfie, Rowdy, Sharton, Ford, Nep, Shiesty, Rooster, and NASCAR. Um, and there's your top 16. Mike, we know you're sitting at 19th. I mean, judging by what I'm seeing, you might be missing. You might be missing the round of 16 there, bud.
Yeah.
But hey, if you miss it, we'll just broadcast more of the playoff races.
I mean, Shiesty's gonna miss a couple more, so I'm gonna take his spot. That would be great. I would love to take Shiesty's spot.
You gotta make up 160 points, my man. So you better get to digging.
So it's like I'm gonna have to start wrecking forward instead of racing them clean, because that way I can get into that round of 12.
Exactly. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting. I'm ready to see the playoffs, how they unfold for the Cup Series. It should be a pretty fun one to watch.
I I'm happy with the 4 races until the playoffs, because there's we've got Indy, we got Darlington, iffy on New Hampshire, but then have Atlanta. So I think there's a couple tracks out there that I might be able to,
Echo
you
Park.
know,
You got
have some
Echo
pretty good
Park circled
finishes.
up,
So
so I know you're gonna be gunning for that one.
I've got Indy, and I'm actually running a throwback both races this coming week.
Mhm.
Um, paying tribute at Indy, I'm running a Mario Andretti paint scheme from when he ran in the NASCAR. So, naturally, you can't think of Indy without thinking Andretti. So, I was a toss up between if I was wanting to run an Andretti paint scheme or an AJ Foyt paint scheme, but I went with Andretti. And and then Darlington, I'm gonna be back in the King's car. So,
And my last races of the season that I'll be participating in, I'll be going back to the original Jeff Gordon car.
Amen.
uh,
We can't wait to see it, Mike. But take a look here at the team points as of right now. High Life Motorsports, they're ahead by over 100 over Dark Horse, so they're hanging in there really smooth. I mean, when you got Simone and JPR on your team, you can pull your weight pretty well. Dark Horse has Outlaw by over 200 points. Speedy, Speedy and Trickle are the dynamic duo on that team, and they're really pulling the weight. Wolfie's there as well, and Wolfie's starting to get better finishes. And then Outlaws got PPR by over 200 as well. And then Dumpster Fire Motorsports, baby. Fucking, we're doing great over there. But let's move on to the next subject that we got because, as everyone knows, we're not just here for the Next Gen Cup Series anymore, or Next Gen Racing League, I should say. Thursday Night Thunder. This is Jay Clay and Hamrick's Dirt League that they run on World of Outlaws 24. They just decided their champion on Thursday, and we're gonna get diving into that, starting off with bullet points of the race. It was their week 16. They were racing at Straight River Speedway. Um, their championship night for their UMP dirt modifieds and also the super late model. Starting off with Hayden had a quick time on the heats. Hayden won heat one, Rowdy won heat two. In the race, Hard Charger was Repo. He gained 4 positions. Hard Luck, which crazy to me. Bullet Bob lost 8 points. And I have no clue what FLOTR means, but Hayden won that. Maybe that means fastest lap of the race. That sounds right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
fastest lap on the track.
I figured
On the
that one
track
out. What an idiot.
of the race.
But as we see here, this will be more neat as time goes on. But DTM CKW 3521 ended up winning the race. And Big Poppy was second. Rowdy was third. DTM Magic Man was fourth. DTM Repo was fifth. Beer Stick was sixth. Rooster was seventh. Bob was eighth. J Clay was ninth. Hamrick was 10th. Nep, you were 11th. And Mike, you were 12th. In that UMP race, how'd you guys feel? I I barely remember how those cars felt in World of Outlaws. H- How is it adapting to that versus trying to run a stock car on asphalt?
Well, I finished
I
12th.
still,
If that answers your
I should,
question.
yeah, I was in the hospital bed next to Mike after that race. It was a rough race,
So it was a rough
especially
one.
towards the back of the pack.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, people. Straight River is a fun track, but if you dive too deep, your car just washed up and you just couldn't stop it. And
Mm.
there's people that believes 8 wheels turn better than 4, and then there was a couple occasions where people felt that 12 wheels would turn better than
Jesus
4.
Lord.
So
I mean, and
I mean,
to be completely fair to dirt racing, was always way more dirtier than the NASCAR racing. I mean, people will use you the fuck up and not think
oh
twice.
yeah,
Well, I mean, these car and dirt cars, you can do that because they're a lot more giving with
Hmm.
contact. And a cup car, little slightest little contact, and you're done.
Yeah.
But and these dirt
well,
cars, you can put a door to them, and not totally mess them up.
Hmm.
I think, and this is just a suggestion to Jay, and I know he's going to be watching, whether he's watching now or he'll watch it tomorrow, whatever the case may be. Run, go all out when it comes to the dirt league. Run tear offs. You know, that's part of dirt racing is tear off. Run. I think one thing that could clean up the racing a little bit over there is put damage on, because if you start to wrinkle up these cars, you lose that aero package and all that. But I think that has something to do with it. People know that they can just slam into people or slam into the wall, and their car doesn't get affected by it any.
Hmm.
Put damage on.
So you had to pay the price for it. Yeah.
Exactly. There's no pits, so if you go out there racing like a freaking idiot and just slamming into people, your car is going to beat all to hell,
Hmm.
and you're not going to be able to make a run to the front of the pack. You're going to be stuck back where you are battling it out,
Hmm.
because you can try to pit and you know well, there's no pitting, so unless the caution comes
You're
out, you
shit out
can't
of luck.
fix any
Yep.
damage.
You're shit out
Yeah,
of
I
luck.
agree. I
yeah.
agree with the damage thing. I think there should be damage turned on. I mean, the tear offs, I could care less about regardless. But that damage does play a significant part in, I think, a lot of the finishes.
Mm.
Because you get that damage, you're running back there with me.
Yeah, this was my last season running competitive in dirt. So I was just having fun with it. I went out there in my heat. I finished second in my heat. In the UMPs, I believe it was, and then got murdered by Jay's Wheel of Doom, as everybody calls it. To set up for the fucking feature.
Mhm.
Um, but I just went out there and had fun. I knew I wasn't going to win. Them DTM guys are just bad fast. I mean, they could be in a league of their own,
Mhm.
and Hayden, the Hayden kid, he's a young kid. He can start from the back of the pack in every damn race, and by the end of the race, he he's winning the race. So I mean, that whether they get on throughout the week and they practice as a team, they've got they definitely have it figured out. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. But as we move on to the next one, that's what the UMP Dirt Modifieds final points came out to be. Hayden won the championship, Repo second, Big Poppy third. Then you have Hamrick fourth, Jay Clay fifth, Bob sixth, Rowdy seventh, Clinker. I haven't heard that name in a while. He eighth, Rooster ninth, Nep. You ended up 10th in points. CKW 11th, Sharton was 12th, Beerstick was 13th, Big Mike you were 14th. Bodies was 15th. Wise Guy, holy hell, I haven't heard his name either. 16th. Super NT, 17th. NASCAR, 18th. Wolfie Man, 19th. Heavy D was 20th. as we move on to the Super Dirt Late Models. Again, we 16 Straight River. Quick time was set by Hayden, and the heats, Hayden and Rowdy again went out and won them. Hard Charger was Jay. He was up 8 positions in the race. Tough Luck again was Bob. This time he fell 10 positions. And fastest lap of the race went to Repo. Let's take a look at the finishing order here. As you can see, Repo won the race. Big Poppy was second again. Jay third. Hamrick fourth. DTM, CKW round out your top five. Then Beer Stick goes sixth. Rowdy seventh. DTM Magic Man eighth. Rooster ninth. Big Mike, you were 10th. Bob was 11th. And Nep, you were 12th. That race, Jay seemed really quick. I mean, I'm surprised Rowdy fell back to seventh. Rowdy just coming out the UMP race, he was the one that snagged third, but must be
Well,
the way these cars drive.
yeah, the UMPs and the late models, they drive completely different.
Hmm.
And Rowdy, Rowdy was having his hands full in that race. I think he actually started right, close in that area, and he just never could make any ground.
Hmm.
So
I'd like to shine a light on me and Bob. Bob did start first this race. I started third this race.
Oh wow.
I did leave 5 laps of this race. Let's just
Oh.
get that. I did leave 5 laps. And then I proceeded to fall back to where I belonged.
Mike. Oh my Jesus. Well, let's
that's
take
how
a
I felt.
look.
That's how I felt in that Talladega race. It's like I passed the field and was leading the race. It's like, okay, I'm not supposed to be in the number one spot. Like, what the hell?
All right.
So I had to pit so that I could get back where I belong.
Let's look at the final point standings for the Super Late Dirt Miles. As you can see, Hayden again won the championship only by 20 points over Repo, and Big Poppy was third. Fourth, Hamrick, Jay Clay, Bob, Rowdy, Clinker, Nephew finished ninth. Rooster got 10th.
Oh shit.
11th was CKW. 12th was Sharton. 13th was Bodies. 14th was Beer Stick. 15th was Wise Guy. 16th, Mike. 17th, Super NT. 18th, NASCAR. 19th, Wolfie Man. And 20th was Heavy D. These guys are now done for their season. If I remember correctly, it looks like the first week of May is when they're starting back up. If you are interested in anything to do with any of the leagues we run, please reach out to me. Reach out to some of the guys in there. I mean, the Dirt League can reach out to J Clay 19 on PlayStation. It is a PlayStation League. If not, go on my YouTube. I'll have my email and stuff in there. You can contact me, and I can get you going to where you need to be. But as you know, we're not just covering one league. We go into another one. This one is more of a major announcement. This is to do with the D2D ARCA revamp series, being ran by yours truly. I got 2 guys to make an announcement on. I am going to be the league owner. I'm the head of the operations, all that fun shit. I am going to have 2 league admins. Nep and Mike are going to be my right hand man. I'm gonna have them. They're gonna be reaching out to people. They're gonna be trying to recruit stuff like that. Um, and basically, they'll crack the belt whenever it needs to be, and I'm not around. So it's that's I'm ready for this ARCA series. It's gonna be fun as hell. We're gonna have a lot of great times with it. It ain't gonna be taken super crazy serious. It's gonna be taken just for bragging rights.
Well, it's like we've been talking, in our own little chat and all that for the Arca series and all that, and we're wanting to do things completely different over there.
Hmm.
Throwing out ideas on how to make things different and fun and all that. So, I think people are going to be real interested in how things are going to be done.
Stay tuned because that will be brought up here in probably the next couple of weeks. Once we get
Don't
all
bring
the
no,
once we
and
get all the
don't,
kinks.
and don't bring no shit, cause I will kick you.
Amen. Amen to fucking that. It takes 1, 2, 3 to remove somebody. I've done it in the past and we'll do it again. Another big news drop tonight is that Nitrous Racing Series, and it's going to be in the Craftsman Truck Series. This series is going to be taking place on Friday nights. And I bet you can't guess who is going to be running this one. It's Mr. Shiesty. He will be running this truck series. He is going to be the head honcho of that truck series. He's going to get added to our Discord channel. We're going to make him his own little truck series thing, just like I did with the D2D stuff. It's going to have a big breakdown. It's going to be for whatever he wants to do. As you can see, he's already got his race settings ready to roll. He's running 50% length, 3 times wear. Cautions will be relaxed. Stages enabled. Driving assist, of course, off. Custom setups, of course, off. Fuck that shit. Damage is on. He's going to have a field limit of 20 trucks. And they're going to be racing all tracks from what I am seeing. So that's going to be cool. I wonder how he's going to work stuff out there. He did send me how his points and his chase is going to go. As you can see, 18 total races. The last 6 races of the 18 are going to be the chase races. That's his stage points: 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Top 5 only get stage points. That's it. The 6th and beyond does not grant stage points. No playoff points for stage wins. So he's keeping it simple. I like to see that. That's great to see. Then we move on to how his chase breaks down. The top 10 drivers advance to the points at the end of the regular season to the advance to the chase. When the points reset, the standings will look like that. First place, 2,075. Second, 2,060. Third, 2,050. Then it goes down by 5 points all the way to 10th. So that's a cool little series. It's going to be around on Friday nights. If you guys want to, again, if you guys would like to be a part of it, please hit up Mr. Shiesty, Dr. Shiesty69 on, what is he, on YouTube now, on PlayStation. Go get a hold of him. If not, hit me up. I will help you guys out. Couple notable mentions at the end of this one. As you can see, now it's not just Joshua Temple Racing Television, and Dubby. Head over to Dubby. Head over there. Use the promo code. Get 10% off your order. I know Mike's got a promo code again. Mike, what's your promo code?
It is Big Mike Jr. _ Dagoa. It is my PlayStation name. You can go back and get you 10% off for using my code too.
If you don't want to support me, support Mike. Support one of us. I don't give a shit. As long as you get out there, try the product. It's a very good product. I need to start using it more. It does.
Trust me, it does work.
It's basically crack, just not crack.
Illegal.
Exactly. It's not illegal. It's legal. Also, I'm always gonna shout out Bob, First Place Auto Glass, Jamestown, New York. If you're around that area, fucking, even if you're like an hour away, Bob will drive to you and put a fucking windshield in your car. Bob will do it all. Any inquiries, hit up firstplaceautoglass@yahoo.com. They'll get you right. Again, Bob sells wipers. He sells some Rain-X wipers, man. He'll throw some shit on your car and fucking get you looking spiffy. But guys, we are done with tonight's show. A lot of info, a lot of different series to go through. There's going to be a lot more coming in the future. Thank you, everyone, for your opportunity. Thanks, everyone, for their ears, for popping in here, taking a look at all this fun stuff. It's great. We have a great time doing this stuff, and we're glad that everyone can come and enjoy it with us. Mike, Nep, can we hit this tonight? We're going to try.
No.
We are going to try. After I say 3, we're going to say it. Are we ready?
Yep.
Ready.
1, 2, 3. To be continued. I think that was pretty good. I don't know if it was. Please leave a comment. Let me know. Again, thank you for tuning in to Super Power Hours. We hope you enjoyed tonight's podcast. Temple Racing Television, to where you get it all at. Good night, everybody, and we will see you guys next.